Hello, new Move On user. Welcome to our video series on understanding the important Excel tool and how it is to use it. Firstly, please understand this video series has been brought into being to complement your interactions with your project manager from QS. It is not to replace them. You're going to receive the same level of service and attention whether you tune into this video series or not. This is just supplementary to what you're receiving from your project manager. So let's dive into it. Why do we have this video series? Well, the aim is to be able to help you understand how to do the implementation, how to fill out this import Excel spreadsheet in your own time without having to wait week to week or every other week to have a conversation with your project manager or to formulate an email to them or get an email back from them. You can do this in your own time and watch these videos. As such, let's take a look at the Excel itself. By now you've probably all been briefly introduced to what it looks like. You see the Excel document. It's a macro, or it's got a lot of macros that are involved in it. In a nutshell, it's for the move on for your instance package to be the most effective for you, it relies on your data. You might want to just, we understand that you might want to just jump into it right away and just give me my system and I want to start using it, but that would be like as if we gave you if we were the construction company building a house for you and we just gave you a bunch of wood and siding and nails and said, here you go, build a house, right? And you think, but isn't the software already completed? Can't you just give it to me? Can't you just give me like one of those model houses that are all ready to go? And the thing is, we can't really, because the house itself depends upon the parameters in the information that you need to give us to help us build it for you, right? So some very foundational basic stuff that we need from you to start building it, and then we can give you the finished product. And that's what this Excel spreadsheet is all about. So the purpose is twofold. We want to get as much information onto this Excel spreadsheet so when we finish the completed project, you have everything there for you. So think again, we could give you a completed house that's just how you like it, but it might not have anything in it. So what we also want to do is we want to be your movers as well. So you're going to have all of your stuff from where you currently live all in your new house, all the stuff that goes in the kitchen, all that kind of stuff. So the more data you give us now, the more we'll be able to put in, and the more of a completely finished product it will be. We can just walk in and live. The other thing for you to ensure you understand is conceptual configuration of how MoveOn classifies and categorizes your data. Let's look at a brief example. Let's say you, like most universities, have a myriad of complex relationships with overseas partners. You might have exchanges, not all exchanges, you might have double degrees, you might have research collaborations. All these complexities and all these relationships and all these activities, engagement, MoveOn can handle, and MoveOn can manage for you to where you can filter, sort, find, identify, compare all these different relationships. But it is contingent upon you now in this process thinking through the concepts of how you want this information organized and what you want to call it. Now before we end this particular video, this introduction video, I'd like to bring up the fact that upon seeing the Excel at first glance, you might have this first impression of, wow, this looks, some of you, that is, half of you, let's say, might have this impression of, wow, this looks extremely easy. It's just a few tabs. It'll take me maybe a couple hours, maybe a couple days, and I can smash this out. We have a lot of other clients that on the other half think like, wow, this is just so much information. I don't have any of this handy. Some of it's on paper, some of it's in folders, some of it's in binders, some of it's in storage cabinets. I want to have it all in there, but it's going to take me a really long time. So we understand both of those situations. Okay, I kind of lost my train of thought. The second reason is very different. Let's call it conceptual. One of the reasons, so there's two reasons why it's actually really hard to do. The first is the data collection. So a lot of clients have the data stored, but it's not as easily retrievable as you might have thought. Again, it might be digital, it might be paper that you need to digitize, it might be students who've gone abroad, but they're sitting with some particular faculty member or professor that doesn't have the information or isn't giving it to you or is on holidays or something like that. So If you're lucky, some of your clients, you might have your information in some kind of legacy system or on a whole bunch of Excel spreadsheets. That'll make the process easy. But that's one reason why it's difficult. The second reason, as I alluded to earlier, is more of a conceptual reason of why it can be difficult. A lot of new users have a hard time understanding A, the move-on terminology, and B, the naming conventions and between how the data works in move-on behind the scenes. That means a user can quickly become confused, and that can lead them to not knowing which data should be put in which tab. Again, tackling this issue, this second issue predominantly, is the main point of this video series, and that's why we want to walk you through each one of these tabs so you can understand them in a little bit more detail.